Howdy, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Need a Lift podcast. That's right, this is the Need a Lift podcast with me, your happy host, Clyde. Always. Let me lose this silly hat anyway. That was just a gimmick. That was just a gimmick to get you to click, man. And here you are anyway, so thanks for joining me once again. And if this is your first time at the Need a Lift podcast, welcome to it. What am I doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I am giving the artist, the creator, the free thinker, the doer, the dreamer in you a little booster, a little lift, man. I want you to know. I want you to know that your most fantastical desires, that shit you used to daydream about when you were a kid, that is what your day-to-day living should be based all around. I know that sounds crazy. That sounds irresponsible. But there's no reason that you can't devote time after fulfilling your obligations, your responsibilities, to making good on that promise that you made to yourself as a youngster. To be a spaceman. Alright, you don't have to literally be a spaceman, but you can be whatever you want to be. And I know maybe you're 75 years old. But there's still time. There's still time for you. That ship hasn't sailed, believe it or not. I mean, that's my opinion anyway. If you want to take offense to it, there's the door. Take off. But if you're here in my story salon, I suppose that you want to live. So welcome to it, everybody. This is for artists, creatives the world over. A little pep talk once a week, every Wednesday. So here I am. So please, do me a favor. And like, subscribe, tell a friend, share it on your Facebook, all of that good stuff, man. Please, get the word out. Get the word out that there is somebody out here offering enthusiastic encouragement, okay? I encourage you to go pursue that third career of yours, whatever it may be. Dear Lord, it's hot in this garb. My little wifey, my little sweet pea, my little darling wenchie, my woman, she got me this swell denim jacket. So I'm feeling real good, alright? So yeah, ride that feeling with me, if you will. Anyway, every episode of the Need a Lift podcast starts with a pep talk, okay? And today's pep talk, oh, and that's right, it's all completely unscripted, down from above, unrehearsed, unpremeditated. I do whatever happens. My mouth just flaps and words come out, alright? But every single one of them, comes from a furnace of love for you, alright? So let it warm you from the inside out. Don't read into that weirdly. Anyway, hey everybody, I'm Clyde always. This, is a blue devil with a blue man bun. I know, he's hideous, he's horrifying. Why did I paint him? I don't know. It's a good question. I guess to give you a little shiver down your spine. Is it working? No? Fine. Then we'll leave it here. It is available for sale, though. Go to my website. Anyway, this is not about me. This is about you. Whoever you are, I hope you need a goddamn lift. All right, so back to whatever it is you might be doing. Today's pep talk, is all about gratitude, man. Gratitude. And I know that's similar to other pep talks we've had, but I've been doing a lot of reflecting on the matter. It would seem to me that we had taken for granted so many things in our day-to-day lives before all of this unpleasantness happened, all right? It would seem to me that we walked through life thinking, ho-hum, how boring, oh, how tiresome, how monotonous this thing is that I have to go do, and then all of a sudden, wha-bang, the rug's yanked out from under you. Now, whatever that may be, perhaps you whittle sculptures out of great big pieces of wood. And then you display these sculptures in galleries and places like that, public gathering houses, bookshops around the neighborhood, and you invite folks, good folks, to come, and you greet them warmly with a big smile, and you get within 6 feet of them, and you thrust your hand out there, and you give them a good handshake, or you see your old friend, Sally. Oh, Sally Sue. And you know Sally, she's got paint smeared all over her pants because she's a muralist. An up-and-coming muralist in the city here. And she does these fantastic designs all right? Abstract and representational at the same time. They just about blow your mind. These are the landscapes of her heart, man, that she has been putting out all over the place, greeting and gathering around with those fellows of hers who appreciate her good works, all right? So you see her out at this opening for your gigantic wood sculptures. And again, this is all strictly metaphorical. You don't know. All right, you don't know. But what I'm saying is that camaraderie that you used to have with dear Sally is now made, I mean, not only illegal, but, I mean, according to, I would say that the vast majority of people that you might meet in such a setting, it's been rendered immoral. They're going around saying, why, you shouldn't go shaking Sally Sue by the hand. Well, that's no good, is it? You might just get Sally Sue sick with the virus. All right, but this isn't a rant, okay? This is about you and me never taking anything for granted. So what I'm trying to say is as bad, as frustrating, as debilitating as all of this is right now, take a good look outside. If the sun is shining, man, if the sun is shining, let that breathe life into you. Smile back at the goddamn sun. Smile back at the green grass growing. Or if you live out in the desert, smile back at that little, that little lizard guy who's just sunning himself on a goddamn rock. Come on over. Pet that little bearded dragon of yours. Perhaps that's your vision. Is to bring into the world the grandest reptile farm ever. And you live in a suburb of Keokuk, Iowa. But you know that there's thousands and thousands of little boys in a 1,000-mile radius that would flock to your reptile farm because you had devoted the thought energy to bringing said reptile farm right into the world. Now that would be worthy of doing. That would be beyond worthy. That would be a good deed. Surely something people would remember the whole life over. Or maybe not. Maybe you're just looking to half-ass something. Maybe you're just looking to drudge through another day. I hope that's not the situation. I hope that's not the scenario. I know you're better than that, whoever you are. I don't know who you are. Maybe you make little toy boats and you paint them all up. And you put layers and layers of varnish on them to keep them watertight. And you go and you float them all around the little streams in your hometown. Wherever that might be. It might be down in Perth, Australia. Maybe you're the premier photographer of kangaroos in your area. And you got a whole series of kangaroos bouncing through the air. I don't know, man, but that might inspire you, and if it does, I say today is a grand day to either begin your massive project or to continue carrying out the completion of that massive project, whatever it is, and let it be massive. Push yourself to the hilt. Don't forget, you were destined for greatness. We knew it, all right? We always knew what you had in you. You had the lightning bolts of Zeus bursting from the tip-top of your head when you were a little kid just stacking those blocks up, all right? Everybody knew that you were destined for something amazing. You were destined for something extraordinary. You were never mediocre. Nor should you allow yourself to settle into that uncomfortable, rough, shitty embrace of mediocrity. Don't accept it. You don't have to. You can carry on. You can live your life to the fullest. You can do it. Whatever it is that you do, man. Because never forget, it's only you that can do it. Nobody else can do it quite like you. You're the doer of things. You're not set with the status quo. You're not content to toe the line. You made your own goddamn line and you're hauling it. You're cranking it in. You're reeling it in. You're doing your goddamn thing. You know it's worthy of being done, so do it. You've seen it in your goddamn mind's eye, whatever it is. Oh, it's a grand goddamn project. It's a symphony of bliss. It's a crazy quilt. It's the craziest quilt ever quilted. You got all the tools at your disposal. You got that sewing machine. Little hipster chick, whoever you are. That sewing machine that's sitting over there is collecting dust. You got the thread. You got the needles. You got the fabric. You got the vision. All you gotta do is believe. Focus. Dream. Dream it, do it. Dream it, do it. Dream it, do it. That's all you gotta do. Come on. What's stopping you? What's holding you back? Bust out your watercolors. You know that children's book you came up with? Had a fantastic idea? It's basically written. You can see it start to finish. You know every little step along the process of doing. Do it. Today's the day. Nobody's gonna do it for you. You're your own worst critic. It's worthy of being in the world. What's more, people are counting on you to bring it into the world, man. Maybe you got the formula. You've got the motivation. What's more, you've got the plan to open up a camp, a summer camp for boys and girls where you teach them how. You teach them how to be better lacrosse players. Maybe to all my Canadian viewers, you're sitting there and you're saying, man, I remember that coach I had when I was 7 years old, and he was so passionate about shooting that lacrosse ball into that goal, getting it past that goal. He was so passionate about the way one scoops and cradles that ball running down the field and giving it their all, striving for glory, excellence. And that's stirring something in you. Because there's a program that doesn't exist, but you know it could exist. A program whereby you could provide similar guidance to the next generation of little lacrosse stars. Now, I only ever played 2 seasons, so I'm not a lacrosse maniac or anything. But you are. You might be anyway. Maybe you're an amateur haberdasher. And you've made dozens on dozens, hundreds, thousands of hats. Funny hats. Interesting hats. Hats that would stop the show. Now, meanwhile, you're working some day job, something you don't really care about. You're a cog in somebody else's machine, all right? Who knows what it is? Pushing paper, giving seminars. But when you're free, there's these hats that you see in your mind's eye, and you get out. Oh, you've got your scissors, you got your fabric snippers, you've got your little riveters and your awl and your needles and thread. You got buttons. You got patterns. And the sparks fly when you're in there making your hats, making your headwear, doing your thing, all right, because no one can stop you. The money be damned, you're not in it for the money, man. You are in it. You are in it to bring hats into the world that the world didn't even know it needed. But that's you. Whoever you are. So whatever it is, your vision, all right, do not take for granted the fact that you do indeed. As much as you want to say, oh, I can't, I'm too busy, oh, I can't. No, you do indeed have the time. You have the resources at your disposal to do that thing that you want to do. Now, if you want to build rockets, man, you might have to start small. If you want to raise cathedrals from the quarries to the heavens, you might have to start small. I don't know. I'm not an architect, nor am I a rocket scientist, but maybe you are. And if you are, I suggest that you get to work, because your work is cut out for you. Little man or little lady, whatever it is that you do, all right? Now, any effort is better than no effort. Get on up there and do something today. Stop doing nothing. You know what you need to do. You gotta do you. Do what's gonna make your life the most fulfilling life that you can lead. Because it's the one goddamn life that you're ever gonna get. Alright, hey everybody, I'm Clyde always. This is my lovely little wifey, Mrs. Kaylee the ukulele. And in conclusion, today's pep talk, I simply want to restate for the record that you ought never take for granted that which makes it possible for you to pursue your highest possible potential. So seize the goddamn day. Make good use of all your resources. And especially make good use of that feeling that lingers in your heart from when you were just a little guy or a little chick. Doing your thing. Dreaming your dreams. And keep dreaming. And keep doing. Alright, hey everybody, I'm Clyde always. That concludes today's pep talk. I hope you found it most uplifting. Alright, hey, if you didn't know, now you do. I do consider myself to be a bit of a poet. And I got a new one for you, everybody, and I think you're really gonna dig it, okay? But unfortunately, I don't have it off paper yet, so I'm gonna have to read it, all right? But me and old fat boy Smitty here, this is my typewriter, in case you can't see. Oh, shit. See, that's fat boy Smitty, isn't he pretty? Ooh, anyway, me and fat boy Smitty came up with this, whoa, delightful little verse. Last night. See, I have just moved into a new apartment building. I guess I shouldn't say the title, or else I'll give away my secure location, and you'll all know where I am, and you'll, I don't know, come and stalk me or something. You'll all be beating down the door, saying, Clyde, always. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, an ode to my new apartment building. 1440 Steiner. The essence neath your high facade forever beams a playful nod, an impish grin so bright and broad, an ancient spirit spry. 5,000 bricks alight your face, yet not a one seems out of place. Symphonic was the mason's grace who raised you toward the sky. Along the concrete river's bank, your mouth ionic columns flank, between which your teeth of iron clank. It breathes a sappy sigh. What poets out your windows peered, what painters neath your ceiling smeared, what lovers' blazes in you seared, what troves within you lie, what raucous jazz has flown your halls, that lingering now within your walls, a lonely ghostly trumpet calls it faint and cheerful sigh. Perhaps you might forgive me when I grumble neath you, now and then, and take offense when fellow men just simply pass you by. Oh yeah, that one felt good. You see, that's what I'm talking about. It burned within me. I took a good long hard, like an hour. I sat there staring at my apartment building. And little by little, in little sparks, little flits of inspiration, did that verse make itself known to me. Here we are. I hope you found it most beautiful. What's that? You want to hear another poem? Oh dear. Well, you're on a roll today. All right then, perk up your ears. Here comes a good one. It's called And this is a San Francisco poem, too. But I think it could really apply to most anybody, all right, given the context and everything. But it's entitled, An Exclamation! Come on, let's go, you loafing lout. Lead in your ass, well, get it out. You're 20 bars behind the beat. You're moving like a finless trout. Now really must you scrape your feet? We'll be there in a year, no doubt. Put next to you, a snail could fly. Go race a sloth, perhaps you'll tie. You dilly-dally, dawdle, drag. You make molasses seem so spry. You loiter, lumber, lollygag, a fucking tortoise passed us by. You're like a geezer lost his cane. Perhaps you rusted in the rain. Oh, now I'm late for Bonnie's sake. Why must you cause me all this pain? I swear next time I'll never take a San Francisco Muni train. Ain't I a stinker? I know. I'm a real devil, that's what they say. Anyway, hey everybody, we have reached that pinnacle point in the episode where we're going to today's artist spotlight. That's right, every week at the Needle Lift podcast, I feature, that is to say, I highlight the good works of some creative individual, living or dead, who have brought works of wonder into the world, who dared to bring something unfathomed into existence, all right? Now, it could be anybody. It could be a rocket scientist. It could be a painter. It could be a draftsman. It could be a poet. It could be a novelist. It could be, a philosopher. It could be anybody, all right? Any creative, okay? Anybody who challenged the status quo and did not just fall in line and continue to plug away on the fucking assembly line. And not that there's anything wrong with people who plug away on the assembly line, but I would imagine they will never be mentioned in my artist spotlight. Anyway, somebody who dared, who strove, all right, to bring something wonderful. And in fact, you might even argue that this man brought a whole new form of literature into the world, okay? Before this, this form of this form of literature was mostly regarded as kiddie fare, as stuff, for the kids. Oh, it's stuff for, little whippersnappers, okay? He said, no, there is nothing stopping this art form from having as much merit as film, theater, television, or dare I say, even works of written literature, okay? I'm talking about Will Eisner, father of the modern graphic novel, okay? Now, graphic novel, too, I do kind of take offense to that name as a cartoonist myself. I do prefer the term comics, okay, because it's a little less unnecessarily marketing jargon, let's say. Graphic novels. Oh, where are graphic novels filed? Oh, they're over by science fiction and fantasy. You know, where all the dorks hang out. That's where you go. All right, because it's not, this is the other thing, too. If you're reading superhero stuff, come on. No, that's fine if it's for you. It's just not for me, man. It's not for me. I much prefer things like this, all right? This right here, Will Eisner's New York, the big city, this is merely a series of glimpses into the big city life, all right? Now, this is, most is set back in the 70s and everything. But Will Eisner, and of course this artist spotlight is never a full biography. There's somebody else that can do that better. I merely want to point out the fact that Will Eisner, okay? Will Eisner was a maker of comics unlike any other, okay? He was, in fact, the progenitor. Is that a word? Can somebody leave me a comment and tell me if I'm using that word correctly? I should have looked it up, all right? But he is the maker, the bringer, all right, of the graphic novel form into the world, okay? Now, since then, hath the mainstream comics makers, the big names, they've all adopted it, all right? But there are people like him, all right, underground artists who have rendered works of literature in this format, sequential pictures, all right, pictures in sequence, pictorial and other images arranged in deliberate sequence to convey information, all right, as per Scott McCloud's definition. Now that, I say, that is worthy of our admiration in and of itself. to say, hey, look at me. I'm going to tell a story worth being told with this art form that is largely regarded as something to be scoffed at. Now, Will Eisner grew up dirt poor, too, in the Bronx back in, the 20s and 30s. Oh, he was scraping together a living, but he went off to World War II. He came back, and he was making a living illustrating this comic book called The Spirit, all right? And they've got archives and archives and archives of these adventures from The Spirit. But then come 1970, he said, I'm going to start telling real stories that I want to tell. Stories that would be, if they were in the form of a movie or a play, or if they were in the form of a written book, would be regarded as high and worthy, fine, artistic prowess of artistic merit. And he did. And since then, so many wonderful works of graphic literature have graced the shelves of many a library and bookstore across the world over, okay? So to Will Eisner, if you've never heard of him, please go and find some of his works. A Contract with God, that was the first one. There's one called Dropsy Avenue, that's fantastic. You've got to go and see how those stories intertwine. It will blow your mind. All right, and many, many others. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but ought you go and delight your eyes and mind in the wonderful works of Will Eisner. All right? Contemporary of Walt Disney, you might be able to see. Anyway, a cartoonist of epic proportions. Will Eisner, my hat's all the way off to you. Thank you for your good works. Okay, hey everybody, I always close the Needle Lift podcast with a wonderful, delightful little anecdote. And did I plan out which one I'm going to tell? Not yet. So in fact, allow me to just do a plug, okay? If you are in San Francisco or near San Francisco and you're listening to this, chances are you haven't been to a real honest-to-God open mic in months and months and months. And I get it, you gotta take precautions, you gotta stay 6 feet away and wear the mask and all of that good stuff. That's fine. You're welcome to do so at my open mic. Every Friday night at the Scott Street Labyrinth. That's right, it's a big concrete circle right there in the middle of the park. Or I should say on the edge of the park, but in the middle of a green field is a concrete circle on which I host an unplugged, unmiked open mic, a mic without a mic, you might even say. And all manner of performance art is welcome, and people have been coming. An audience awaits. So do what you gotta do. If you gotta have the precautions, there's plenty of room to socially distance, and nobody, all right, will violate your desire to stay distanced and stay masked, okay? If that's what you gotta do, you better do it, all right? But you are welcome to come and perform for us whatever it is you got, okay? Because we can't go back to the cafe, not yet. Not per the guidelines, not per the rules. But I know that folks like you and me are resilient enough to go back to living our lives. In spite of what restrictions may have been placed upon us, we are ready to resume some semblance of normalcy. We can't stay cooped up. It's going to kill you. It's going to kill your beautiful heart. So come on out, man. Come on out. I'll be there, and I will host you graciously. You are welcome. You are invited. In fact, wherever you are, go out and smile at the world today. And thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next Wednesday, okay, for another episode of the Needle Lift Podcast. Bye-bye, everybody. Say goodbye, Kaylee.